What's up, people? This is 26 of my favorite Halloween movies. Not all of them are slasher gore movies, some of them are kid movies, and some of them are thriller movies. But these are all the movies I like to watch during the Halloween time of year. Wolf Girl is about a young lady who is traveling with a freak show led by Tim Curry's character, and he's very popular, so if you don't know him, you should check him out on Google. And she suffers from werewolf syndrome, which is the full body hair disorder that is actually a real life disorder. And it basically just shows how cruel people can be to those that are different. And in this case, it has some horror consequences to bad people's actions. It's a very good movie overall. You can find it with Wolf Girl Blood Moon. The Howling is a 1981 werewolf movie. It's got some of the best werewolf transformation scenes. It's like this and Werewolf in London to have the best transformation scene. This probably has the best one. So if you like werewolf movies, this is a pretty good one. The Exorcism of Emily Rose is a 2005 movie starring Jennifer Carpenter and Laura Linney. This is a kind of a different type of exorcism movie. It takes a look at how religion and modern medicine are at odds with each other. When a reverend decides that his ability to exorcise demons is more important than the doctor's medicine, it turns out bad for this young woman here. And it really takes a deep look at her psychosis in this weird problem that she thinks she is possessed by the devil. It is a very interesting movie, not for everybody because it's a horror. It's like a scary / courtroom movie, and in my opinion, that makes it better. But I could see why some people wouldn't like it because it does spend some time in the courtroom. But it's a very interesting look at this. I would suggest watching if you haven't seen it. The Wicker Man is a 1973 movie that has been recently, I would say somewhat recently, remade in a terrible version with Nicolas Cage. Don't watch the Nicolas Cage version. That movie sucks. This 1973 movie is awesome. Check it out. It stars Christopher Lee and Britt Ekland. She's in a Goldfinger. This is a great movie. It's about a Christian man who is a police guy, and he goes over to investigate the disappearance of a young child in a pagan island. And be that as it is, they are in a pagan island cult, and he is just there for the ride. So it's very interesting, very spooky. Check it out. Beetlejuice is a 1988 movie starring Winona Ryder, Michael Keaton, and Alec Baldwin. This is a haunted house style movie where the owner finds his house haunted, and for some reason he believes the only way to get it unhaunted is to call another ghost, which is Beetlejuice. It's a pretty funny movie. A lot of people like this movie, and they have been talking about remaking this movie or making a sequel to this movie ever since. So check. Ravenous is a 1999 horror movie. Now this movie stars Guy Pearce, David Arquette, and Robert Carley. So it's about a group of soldiers that are traveling along, and in their mix they have a soldier that they don't really know, and he turns into somebody that they don't want to know. Well, let's put it that way. And this movie has some kind of like vampire / cannibalism / serial killer parts to this movie. It's pretty interesting. Check it out. Sleepy Hollow is a 1999 horror movie based on the classic Sleepy Hollow book. That fairy tale is awesome. I'm sure most of you have read it or heard of it. This movie is also probably pretty popular based on the fact that Johnny Depp is the lead character. He plays Ichabod Crane in this movie. I like this movie. I hear a lot of hate for this movie. I think it's probably hated more than it should be. It's a pretty good movie, so. No Halloween movie should be complete without ScoobyDoo on it. And this is a 1988 movie called ScoobyDoo and the Ghoul School. Now, this movie is old enough to have Casey Kasem as Shaggy and Don Metzik as Scooby-Doo, so it's old enough that they're both alive still and in this movie. This movie is different than every other Scooby-Doo because these monsters are actually real, and that's what makes it different. I would suggest checking it out. It's pretty good. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is a 1975. Like, it's not so much as a horror scary movie, but it is a Halloweenish movie. So if you want to check it out, it stars Tim Curry and Susan Sarandon. So it's pretty nice. Check it out. 13 Ghosts is a 2001 movie, and it's like one of the movies where a rich uncle or somebody will die, and they'll leave a house to their children, or not their children but their relatives, with the only string attached is they have to stay in this house for a whole night. And while they're doing that, a lot of crazy crap happens. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is a 1982 movie in the Halloween series. Now, this is the only Halloween movie that doesn't have Michael Myers in it. And it had big backlash by people who thought they were going to see Michael Myers and didn't get to see him. But what it actually did was kill off a really good idea. Like, every year when they made the Michael Myers movies Halloween, they wanted to make different movies every Halloween. And that could have been awesome, but instead we got nothing but Halloween Michael Myers movies for 20-something years, and we're still getting them now. This is a pretty nice movie that has nothing to do with that. Check it out. Definitely give it a chance. Saw is a 2004 horror movie, and it's the first of a huge amount of movies. But this one is written by two men that I don't write the other bunch of movies except for like the last one. So it's a lot different than the other ones. This one is less kill for no reason and more of a kill for a reason, and that's why I like it the best. It seems to actually have a story unlike the other movies. I think that if you haven't watched the Saw movies, or maybe you've seen the newer Saw movies, check out the first one. It's the best one. In the Mouth of Madness is a 1994 psychological horror movie starring Sam Neill, who was in Jurassic Park, directed by John Carpenter, the director of the Halloween movie. And this is a very crazy movie. If you haven't heard of this movie, check it out for sure. It's a great movie. The Crow is a 1994 movie starring Brandon Lee, who tragically passed away making these films. And this is the only one he's in. He is a son of Bruce Lee. So if that interests you, check this out. This is about a movie about two lovers who are murdered by a gang of jackasses, and one of them is brought back to life, and he goes out for vengeance. The Secret Window is a 2004 mystery thriller movie. It stars Johnny Depp, and it's written, like, the story is written by Stephen King, and this is a pretty good movie. A lot of people probably wouldn't say it's a horror movie, because it's not really a horror movie. It's a thriller movie, and the best time to watch those is Halloween, and that's why I included it in this list. From Hell is a 2001 movie based on the Jack the Ripper case. Johnny Depp is the star of this movie, and he is playing a cop who is investigating the murders. This is a pretty interesting spin on the Jack the Ripper case. Obviously, they have their own version of who actually was the killer, which is also interesting. I really like this movie. I think that the Jack the Ripper case is very interesting. I think most people do. This has a pretty good tale. Underworld Evolution is the second movie in the Underworld series, led by Kate Beckinsale. And in this movie, the leader of the vampires is looking for his brother, the leader of the werewolves. It's a pretty good movie, and in this movie, they actually get the rights to make their werewolves actually look good, so the leader of the werewolves actually looks like a werewolf instead of a flat-faced mutt, which makes the movie even better. This is a pretty crazy movie. Definitely has a lot of eye candy in Kate Beckinsale when she's wearing full leather suits, so if you like that, check it out. Halloween Tale is a 1998 Disney movie. It's pretty good. It's had like 2 or 3 sequels to this movie. It's about a family that has a secret inside of it where their grandma is a witch, and that power is passed through her bloodline. And basically this girl's mom here, she is trying to get rid of that bloodline. And she is dismissing all of her witch powers, but they finally meet their grandma and she wants to become a witch. And this is the story about that. This is also a good movie for your kids. Obviously, it's a Disney movie. The Shining is a 1980 movie starring Jack Nicklaus. And this is a pretty crazy movie written by Stephen King. Well, this is adapted by his book. And he kind of goes out on a vacation as a writer and starts to kind of go mentally insane, maybe being taken control of by the house that they're staying in. It's pretty crazy, so check it out for sure. Van Helsing is a 2004 Monster Hunter movie with Van Helsing as Hugh Jackman as the lead character and Kate Beckinsale as his backup. So if you like Hugh Jackman, he is Wolverine. Check this movie out. If you like the Underworld movie, this is Kate Beckinsale, and she's hot as hell in this movie. So if you like hot girls in leather, check this movie out. If you like werewolves and vampire movies, check this out. I really like Van Helsing. I think it's an underrated movie. Kind of wish they would have made a second one. The Halloween Tree is an old animated movie that they used to show once in a while. If you were lucky, you could catch it on Cartoon Network or maybe some other network. But it's very rare. Like, a lot of people remember this from their childhood but don't actually know the name of this movie because they were really small when they watched it. And it's about a kid that his soul is basically sucked away as he dies and is put into a pumpkin. And his friends are trying to rescue it, and they have to learn about the history of Halloween by the end of this movie. It's a pretty good movie. You should check it out if you've never heard of this movie. Halloween is a 1978 slasher movie that started basically all of the slasher movies. This is the original Michael Myers movie. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't know where you've been. It's been remade, and the series has continued for years and years and years. You'll be able to see Jamie Lee Curtis in her youngest self. It's got Don Pleasance in it. This is, in my opinion, the best Halloween movie. A lot of the other ones aren't as good, but this starts it off. It's a very good movie. This is better than the remake that Rob Zombie made, for sure. Clue is a 1985 movie starring Tim Curry and a lot of other people. It's this classic whodunit murder mystery, just like the board game. This is a pretty funny and interesting movie. but since it's about a murder, it's easier to watch during this time of year. Under the Basketballs is a 1959 movie with Sherlock Holmes as the main character. This movie stars Peter Cushing's and Christopher Lee. This movie is kind of a werewolf sort of movie. It's very interesting. Check it out. Sherlock Holmes movies are awesome, and this one is probably the most Halloweenish scary movie. Hocus Pocus is a 1993 Halloween movie made for kids, and because it's made for kids and it was released in '93 when I was a kid, this movie has always stuck with me. So I've never forgotten it. I've watched it quite a few times. I've always liked it. It stars Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker. It's pretty good. Check it out. Or if you have kids, it's safe for them to watch, so let them watch it. The Nightmare Before Christmas is a 1993 cult classic movie. There's a reason that so many people like this movie, even though it's becoming popular to hate on it. This is about the main character Jack Skellington, who is the king of Halloween, who becomes bored with only ever doing Halloween things, and he wants to become the master of Christmas, and he goes out of his way in his own way to try to make that happen. It's a very interesting tale, very good movie.